This video is to share with you the directions for how to write your advice poem, and I will be sharing one of my advice poems with you. So this week, depending on your cohort, your class will be reading two advice poems. One is Mother to Son by Langston Hughes, and the other is Speech to the Young by Gwendolyn Brooks. In both of these poems, there is a speaker. As we've talked about, it is not necessarily the poet, but we hear a voice and a particular character who is speaking to another person or people and giving them advice. So that's basically the assignment that you're being given, is you need to assume a speaker for your poem, whether it is you or you make someone up. You also need to decide who you want to give advice to, and then write a poem where you're giving advice from the viewpoint of whoever your speaker is and giving that to somebody else. Our first poem, Mother to Son, is a free verse poem. So what that means is it does not rhyme. It doesn't have a particular rhythm or repetition. There is repetition, I take that back. But there aren't any specific rules. It does include figurative language within it, so I would encourage you to try to put that into your poem, but it's not required. So it's your choice as far as how you wish to do it. Your poem could be free verse. The second poem that we read does contain rhyme, although it's not necessarily set up to follow a particular form. The poet has created her own form for that. So I'm going to share with you my poem that I wrote a few years ago that follows this type of format as an example. You don't have to do the exact same as what I do, but I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you so you can actually see it, because I would like you to create yours in a Word document as well. So one thing that's missing from my Word document would be a heading. Please make sure you include that information on yours. But this is the title of my poem, and I called it Teacher to Student. It was very easy for me to create the speaker as a teacher because that's who I am. And as a teacher, I'm giving advice to you guys, my students. Or that particular year, I had somebody in mind. I did choose to use specific stanzas, and it does rhyme. I don't know how perfect of a rhyme it is, but it's not one particular form either. I created my own form. So we see, once I was like you. Once I didn't care. But if only I knew that I could go somewhere. I would say to my mom, I hate this work. It just isn't fair. But I worked and I worked. I set some goals, followed them through, and here I am now talking to you. I love my life, my family, and career, so just do the same, and you'll be happy too. So think about the advice that I'm giving there, and when you do yours, you may choose who you wish to be giving the advice to and what the advice is going to be.